So today I want to speak about why I quit being a digital nomad and, if I'm being completely honest, why I kind of wish I did it earlier. So my name is Ben. I am a e-commerce entrepreneur living out here in Bangkok. Where did it all start then? So I wanted my own business for a very long time. After I lost my job, it was in 2019, I decided that I'll go to Chiang Mai, and this was primarily due to wanting to be around people, more like-minded people. Effectively, no one around me was selling on Amazon or doing anything like that. And yeah, I had just asked myself the question, which was, if I had $100 million in my bank account, what would I do? What would I spend my time? I think most people, when they hear this, they think, how would you spend the money? But no, how would you spend the time? And so when I thought about that, I was like, okay, I would travel, I would read, I would start a business on Amazon, I would create my own brand. I would love to have my own brand. And that kind of took me to Chiang Mai because there's a lot of people there who were doing their own thing. They were starting their own businesses, they were traveling. And so I thought, okay, cool. I'll go to Chiang Mai, I'll reduce my cost of living. And so that's where my journey really took me. Once I got to Chiang Mai, great. I loved it. It was tons of people there. It was a lot of fun. Met a lot of new friends. And from there, what then started to happen was this group of people who I made friends with, going out, having fun, they started to move away. So everyone from Chiang Mai was then filtering onto Da Nang. And so I was like, had this empty feeling started to come across me where all these people I'd made friends with had just started going. So I was like, okay, I'll go Da Nang. And then in Da Nang, the same group of people, made friends with, they all started to move away. And they were like, okay, let's go to Ukraine. I was like, yeah, let's go to Ukraine. That sounds fun. And then we went to Ukraine, went there for a few months, and then it kind of was like, okay, well, we're going to Mexico. And I was like, okay, I need to take a bit of a breather here. And I went back to the UK, got stuck there, won't go into that sob story. And then I ended up just kept traveling. I ended up going to like Spain. I met a girl online, met her, didn't work out. Yeah, I won't go into that love story. Then heartbroken, obviously went to Colombia. We'll keep this channel PG-13. I went traveling after Europe. And then that is kind of where I kind of had enough. This was over like a 3-year period where I was just spending roughly anywhere from like a few months, 6 months in these different places. And the same thing started to happen again and again and again, every single place I went, and the cycle went through, which is kind of why I came to really not like this lifestyle. And I want to really go into these reasons why, because all of these things repeat themselves every single place I went, right? So number one, it's one of the biggest things, which is the temporary culture. So what you'll find is in all these different places is that most of the people going there are only going there for, say, 2 or 3 months. So in Chiang Mai, you'll go to a networking event, you'll meet people, you'll get on with them really well. And then, yeah, you'll hang out with them, you go for a few drinks with them, you go for dinner, and then it's like, oh, I'm off to this place next. And you're like, oh, okay. And then you have this like sadness that comes across. This person they're a good friend, they're just leaving. It's fine if this happens for one person, but then it just happens to every single person you meet. And before you know it, you start questioning whether you want to be here in that place as well. And so that's with friends. So obviously, relationship gonna have the biggest impact on our overall happiness. So you meet cool people and they just leave. It's really heartbreaking, especially when you keep rinse and repeating the same thing again and again and again. And so, yeah, I just kind of had enough of that. And I just kind of stuck to people who either A, I was traveling with, or B, were going to be there for a lot longer. There's still that temporary nature to most places. Like most people aren't going to really stay there much longer than 3 months, or a year. And after a period of time, that was beginning to get to me. I'll also say that a lot of people I meet, great people, really nice, but effectively what they're doing, and I realized that I was doing this as well, it's just novelty pumping. Effectively, in my mind, is just going to the place, feeling all of that excitement, and then quickly getting bored and then just like moving on to the next place, rather than, okay, well, I'm starting to get a little bit bored of this place. Okay, I'm going to find new excitement in my hobbies. I'm going to find new excitement in trying different areas around the city I'm living in. Or I'm going to find new areas within the same country. Like, okay, I'm going to visit here. I haven't been here before. I'm going to go there. And it's like this whole mentality of, oh, I'm getting bored of this location. And I don't like how that kind of translates over to the rest of my life. So in my business, I can't really be thinking like that. I can't be thinking, oh, I'm starting to get a little bit bored with this. Oh, I'm just gonna start another business. That's a terrible idea. Like, it's equivalent to like getting bored of a TV channel and then instead of like changing it over and watching something different on the same TV, just like throwing it away and buying a new one. I'm not disagreeing with the reasons why people do this, but for me personally, I just realized that's kind of what I was doing. And I was like, okay, well, I can find the novelty in other areas of my life. I can find the novelty in reading a different book. I can find the novelty in exploring a new street or a new restaurant in the city. I don't need to constantly change my location to feel that novelty, take advantage of that novelty. That leads on to kind of point number 2, which was it was too distracting in the end. With all of this temporary culture, like people coming, you become friends with them, then you know they're gonna leave. If you can't find people who are there long term, then you know that all these relationships you're going to invest in are just gonna come to an end, then you'll need to find new relationships, new friends. It's just every single location you go to, it's like, okay, well, this place I live in, I wanna stay here, am I happy here? Finding the gym, finding healthy food, tracking that food as well. So I like tracking the macros, doing all of that, it just requires constant effort each time. And yeah, I just found a lot of this just distracting. And it's like when you find new friends, they're gonna have like different influences as well. So we are some people to surround ourselves with. So you start hanging around with someone who maybe drinks a lot. Before you know it, you might be drinking a little bit more than normal. With these different influences, it can be a good thing and it can be a good bad thing there. But I just found it quite distracting. I'd just rather be around people who are working on their business or people who are doing similar things to me, rather than like living the complete party lifestyle constantly and kind of getting drawn into that, having to say no constantly to these people. Yeah, I just didn't like all of that, as well as all the distractions around like finding new locations, finding new food, finding those food spots. Routine just became quite difficult. So the third point was just found it difficult to find someone have a long-term relationship with. Obviously, if you're moving from location to location to location, you're going to struggle to meet people to have a relationship, because by the time you get to know someone, you're like, oh, it's off. You would just stick to the group you're with because you knew you were going to be leaving, so you wouldn't bother trying to find anything more long-term. People I know who have met people like who are also traveling, and that's great. That's great for them. But in general, I think that most people who are quote-unquote nomadic, they are either A, just looking for temporary relationships, or B, they're traveling with their partners already. And so the amount of people who are available and single is just very, very small. And most of the people traveling and being nomadic are guys anyway, like it seems to be the case. Those are really the 3 reasons why I stopped being nomad, like hopping country to country. But there's also a lot of like benefits to this like lifestyle as well. One of which is new friends, like different influences. The other is like the novelty, new foods, new people, like having like more vivid memories of the past. It's like the pros are the cons in this, and the cons are the pros. It's kind of more, okay, well, what lifestyle do I like? What do I actually want in my life right now? I wanted more stability personally. I wanted more stability. I wanted more stable relationships. I wanted a regular gym routine. I wanted regular eating. I didn't want all of these distractions anymore. So that's when I was like, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm gonna come to Bangkok. I'm gonna be here longer term. And that was like 2 and a bit years ago now. Honestly, wish I did it sooner, because this approach I'm following now, which is effectively I've fallen into, where I get the benefits of both. Currently, I'm spending roughly 9 months or so in Bangkok. I have a long-term apartment, a long-term lease here. All my friends here are long-term. They're not hopping about, changing countries every few months. I have a regular routine of going to the gym, like doing Muay Thai, like eating. It just allows me to have so much more structure, get into a bit more of a rhythm. And wherever I distract from that, my life just gets a bit chaotic. But I like the chaos as well. I travel now roughly around 3 months a year, and I'm in Bangkok, so I'm connected to so many places around the world. Direct flights to London, Dubai, you can go to Australia, all around Asia. So traveling is really easy from here. What I do, I will travel to a place and then just book the return flight. Simple as that. Like, so I'll go somewhere maybe for this year, when I go back to UK, I'll go back there for a few weeks, I'll come back, I'll go to Bali probably for 3 to 4 weeks max, and have a lot more like 6-day trip, 5-day trips, this new approach I've been doing for like the last couple of years just gives me, it's not really a new approach, just what everyone else does. Just gives me the structure, but also the novelty to my life. Pretty much 75% of the time I am in Bangkok, 25% of the time I'll be traveling. It's really as simple as that. And personally, if you don't try this, I prefer it. See you next time.